like evaluation summary assign, and again I'll just add my name and everything. As I said, this is a previous one. Someone else had made that. I've started recording as well, by the way. So just keep in mind that you are being like we are right now recording. So there will be around assignments, 4 practical assignments, and those 4 practical assignments will be 30% of the grade of all course. So they are important. So there might be some of the in-class tasks or individual exercises, 4 of them. They are 10%. So again, 2.5% each. So when you will have a class, and please remember that for a class task, you have to be in that class that particular day. You have to be in the class to have that to attempt that particular task. You will be required to attend the class as well. So be in the class to attend this in-class tasks. Secondly, there will be midterm. Midterm is 30% and final exam is 30%. So that makes it all 100%. And as I said, it's a general outline and mostly it would be same. But again, I'll talk about some. So today we'll just talk about, it is again very old, fall 2022. So what we'll talk about the course introduction, which we are doing right now. And we'll install SQL Server and SSMS. And again, if you have that one, we'll see. If you do not have, we'll just talk about create an SIS database. We'll just talk about, and we'll just talk about some select statement for week one. Week one has this agenda today, mostly the installations, mostly the prerequisites that we have that we need to work on databases, and we'll just talk about that. In week two, the main topic will be scalar functions, but of course we'll just do AdventureWorks 2007 database. All these databases are available on the course shell, and I'll just tell you that what are those databases. So mostly we'll just start select statements and then scalar functions in week two, and that would probably just make that one. Now week three, where we'll start talking about the database design and normalizations, and this is very important. And those of my students who were with me in web development, do you guys remember that I talked about a little about this normalization and database design in our course, even though of course it was not a topic there. But here what we'll do is that we'll just use this as a topic, and you will see that what is normalization. This is quite an interesting concept, and how to design the database, how to make those all those the ERDs and things like that, that we the relationship between the entities and how to make a database in general. We'll just talk about those things in our week three. Week four, we will be talking about the joins in the queries, and that's another very very important topic, where we'll just we'll be just right from this week we'll be talking about some of the queries, and we'll just work on some of the queries, but then we'll just keep on increasing on that one. So in week four we will have exercise 1, 2.5%, and we'll just that would be in week four. So again, till week four, in the week four we'll have some exercise that will be of 2.5%. Again, this exercise is the same in class task or the exercise that we might have. So again, if there will be some change, I'll just make that in this instruction plan. As I told you, this is a previous one. In week five, we'll talk about aggregate functions. They are very important, aggregate functions. And we might have assignment 1 due in the week 5, and that assignment 1 is 7.5%, and it would be due in that particular week. Week 6, subqueries, very important topic. These subqueries we will be talking about some of the concepts that you will find very very interesting, because we write some multiple queries to extract data. One query will bring data for particular type, and the second query will just make work on that one. Week 7, it would be like insert, update, and delete statements. Even though we would have worked a little about those in these weeks, but here we'll just specifically talk about the update statement, delete statements, and insert statements, the write current operations, and midterm exam overview in the week 7. And this will be the midterm exam. In this is mentioned in week 9. As I said, I will just make a little bit changings, and might be we will have our mid exam in this week 7. So it might not be exam review here, rather we will have this. So we might have our mid exam before our student success week. So that keep in mind. Okay, so there is one more student. I'll add that. T Kumar, I'll add that. So T Kumar, Prabjot, is T Kumar already here for the meeting or not? If they are already here, I can just wait for, and if you want, okay, wonderful. If they are already here, don't worry, because I will be just doing what later on. I'll just add that user, and don't worry about that one. Right. So as I told you, the mid exam might be in week 7. Right now it is mentioning in week 9. It's not possible right now. It's not basically updated. So I'll update it, and our mid exam will be in week 7. And as I said, I'll just update that by tonight. Then week 9, we'll talk about transactions. Very important topic, transactions. That gives us a concept of how to make one transaction stop and how to make those concurrency in the transactions, where transactions, database transactions are very important, and you need to keep in mind that how some transaction has to roll over sometimes, if a database, in what situations database will roll over the transaction, in what situations database will allow some transactions to go away, and something like that. So we'll talk about those transactions in week 9. Week 10, creating tables, how to create tables by using like the code, and sometimes by using the SSMS that I'll talk about. So we'll just, talk about the creating tables as well in week 10. Week 11, we'll talk about views. Very important. Tables are, and again, there is an assessment, exercise 3, 2.5%, and, midterm is 30%, and exercise 2, whatever exercise 2 was due in the week 6. So it is just mentioned. And as I said, I'll just make that. So views in week 11, we'll just talk about views, and views are one of the very important way of like having different data from database, depending upon the need or depending upon the requirement of the user or the capabilities of the user. Like again, for a database, for a data entry operator, the views will be different. For a manager, views will be different. So we'll talk about the views. This is another advanced topic. Exercise 4 we'll have in week 11. And then 12, we'll talk about scripts. In database, we write scripts to extract some data and bring out some of the very, very important information. Week 13, we'll just go with big data and NoSQL type of databases. This is very important. These days, big data and NoSQL databases, they are one of the very, very important aspect of databases. These days, this big data is playing a very important role. All those mining things, all those things that we are doing right now, they all come from this big data environments and big data things. So we'll just talk about that big data. And they are mentioning that week 14 will be the last week, and then we'll have not last week, final exam review, administrative functions. It's an optional topic. We'll just talk about some of the administrative function. I think we will have that time for that one. And week 15 will be final exam. And and again, as it is mentioned over here, and I'll have to do that, there will be a change over there, and we'll talk about those changings over there. So let me just see that if someone is making a request. I will just make that. Allow me to just go there and use that to make that request. So maybe they have pending request. Yes, so Ayush is making a request. So I'm just making that accept, and they will be here shortly. Okay, so now this is the one that we will be talking about. Now let's start talking about our week 1 contents, and the first part is an interesting one that I would like you guys to just follow along. And if you go to the week 1, the first thing that I would like you to just open up is this installing SQL Server 2019. It says 2019, and what we're doing, we'll just see that whatever like latest edition is available, we will just do that one. So first of all, I would like all of you to just follow this along and show you. So if you open up this PowerPoint slides, you'll find SQL Server 2019 editions, Express editions, free recommended for this course, PROG8081 specifically as well. Max memory 1 GB, max database size is 10 GB, free and legal for development and production desktop and web apps. So we can just easily use that SQL Server 2019 edition, and we can just do that. So like uninstalling SQL Server, if you have any previous installations, you might want to uninstall them. If I ask a question quickly, how many of you have already SQL Server edition into your machines? Yes or no in the chat window. SQL Server, I'm talking about SQL Server. Maybe it's Express or Prabjot, you have that already. Anyone else? Can you write in the chat window maybe a yes or no? Because that would be okay. Yes, Hitesh also has, and Arshit does not have. Samprit. Okay, Tarun, you also have. Wonderful. So those who have, that's wonderful. And okay, so Rohit says no. So we'll just see that how it would be done. So if you have any previous one and if you want to install them, you will just install uninstall them, and then you will then you will just work with that one. But again, if you do not have anything, we will just do that over here. So we'll just go to the Express Edition, Microsoft.com, and SQL Server Express Edition. We'll install that one. So if all of you go over here, you will see that. Okay. Okay. So SQL Server Express download. If you go to the Express download, everyone, please go with me and go to the SQL Server Express download. And here you will find multiple options over here. So here, if you see that this is Express Edition, and I would like, it's a 2022 by the way, of course, now. So download that one, right? The 2022 edition, Express one. Okay, so I already have that installed, and I have SQL Server Management Studio also installed. So I would like all of you to just install that one that you have downloaded. And this is SQL Server Express Edition. Install that, and please, I would like everyone to just do that, because at times it will create some problems, and I don't want you to just have face those problems before we start that one. So you have to install that Express Edition, and then they're asking for a custom edition, and that will be you will have C, and then you install that one, Express Edition. And once you're done with that one, you will find a very important option over here, and you'll just keep on doing that one installation, all those main, like these generic features that you want to just do that and install them. The main thing is that after that you will find an option that install SQL Server Management Studio as well. So I would like you to just install both of them, and first of all, and when you are done installing that one, you will see something like this. If I just show you SSMS, I have the SQL Server Management Studio 19. This is an app. So when you are done installing all those things, you will find that sort of Wikipedia page that will appear for the SQL Server Management Studio. And you have to just use that one. And after getting that, you will install that. So I would like all of you to just right now go and install this database, and we will just see that right later on. We can test that whether this server is working or not, and that will just come up over there. So once you are done with that one, you will see that SQL Server Management Studio will start up like this. I'll just show
Sir,
you.
I am using a Mac uh, laptop, so I can't find any uh, download option for the Mac.
Yes. So the problem is with the Mac, you'll have to do the workaround. A lot of people, they will find it very difficult for, because of this Microsoft issue with all those operating systems. But anyhow, right now these days people are doing what I personally do at my Mac as well. That you can even install a Windows partition on your MacBook. Have you done that?
Okay,
Yeah.
no,
So simply what I have done from, like, there are multiple ways. There's a Docker way as well. You can just install a Docker and do that. But one of
okay,
the ways that I have done that, I have installed both operating system on my Mac. Windows is also running there, and the Mac,
okay,
of course, also is running there. So you can do that one, or if you are familiar, you can install with the Docker's help. But again, it's up to you
okay,
what you want to do. And I would recommend install Windows, because that would really solve once for all the problems, right? You know what I mean?
okay, sir. Yep.
So I would like you to just install that one. So you won't find, of course, any option over here. Even though there is an option, they say that this is for a MacBook, but still that really creates a lot of problems. So I don't want you to just do that maybe. So if I just install again SSMS, you will find this SSMS over here, and I would like to show you something here. Okay, if I show you my other screen where I have that installed starting. Look at that. This will be SQL Server Management Studio. SQL Server Management Studio, and again it will install start version 9 19.1. It is right now. And when you are done with the installation, you will find something like this. I'm not running that one. I'm just showing you this right now. So look at my screen. Look at that, my screen, and you can see that this will come up like this: database engine, and my server name is Norman PC slash SQL Express. It has to be some name with you. So those who are successfully doing the installation, I can see a lot of people had no, those did not have. So Arshit and Prachi, Samprit, Vaishali, when you install that one, let me know that when you have successfully reached to this point. Again, first you will have SQL Server installed. After that, SSMS. And I'll talk about what is SQL Server, what is SSMS. I'll talk about both of them later on. So first of all, you just do that and let me know that you guys have installed that one for your machine. I'm waiting to hear back from you guys. Yes, it should be processing, Vaishali. Just wait for that. And again, once you're done, let me know. It will show you install SSMS option. Go there and try to use that option as well. Okay. Anyone has done that installation, please let me know.
Sir, we have to select install SQL Server Management Tools.
Sorry, can you say that again?
We have to install SQL Server Management Tools.
Yeah, SSMS, yes. Not
Okay,
tools, SSMS. Once you are done installation with that one, you will see the window where it says that install SSMS.
okay.
Yeah. Let me show you how it's. If you see here, it will just, somewhere it will be not tools. Again, here it shows the tools, but you have to download SSMS, like SQL Server Management Studio, and its 19 version will come up as I was showing you. This one will come up, version 19. Other than Vaishali, I don't see anyone in the chat window who's doing the installation. Are you guys doing the installation, Puneet, Rohit? Okay, Puneet, wonderful. SSMS, you have 20.1, wonderful. I have the older one, I have 19, but now you have the 20th one. Rohit, that's wonderful. Okay, Rohit is on the way. It means installation is going on.
Sir, can I please share my screen?
Yeah, sure, sure. Why not? Sure. I'll stop sharing and you can share your screen.
Like,
Okay, Azure extension for. Okay, so can you go back? Yes, go back
yeah,
and maybe one step more back.
no, I can't go back.
You can go back. Can you just cancel do the cancel here? Just give me a
Cancel.
second. Yeah, cancel that.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Can you show me the installation file where that installation file is? Here, yeah. It should be in the download, right? The installation
Oh,
file.
file. Yeah.
Okay. Can you double click on that again for a second? And okay. Right now go next. Or install, yes. Install. Okay, just hold on. Yes, this the first one. Click on the first one, right?
Can I go next?
Yeah, yeah, go next. Yeah, yeah, sure. Um, yeah, you can check that one as Microsoft. Yes, we're checking. Okay, just hold on. Okay. Can you press next now?
Yeah.
Okay. User responsible, Azure ID. We don't want this. Can you go to the next? Is it allowing you the next or no? Okay.
Additional.
Question is okay to close dialog box. Okay, right. All right. Just give me a second because it should not be. We don't want that Azure extension. Okay. Can you hit OK? Hit OK and press cancel from here. Press cancel. Yeah. Yes. And now what do you want? Can you just close this SQL Server Installation Center for a second?
Yeah.
Close that. And now again run this file, the download. Yeah, just run that file again. And do the basic, not the custom. Yeah, you just go with it. Yeah, accept. Okay, yes, install now. Just if you are having problem, Vaishali, just do this way. Like do the basic installation. Don't go for that custom installation. You know what I mean, Vaishali? Just follow this along, and this is good. Atulya, your system, I can just see what's going on. So Vaishali, you also do that. Because custom installation might be just getting stuck at Azure and something. Hopefully this will not. Okay, just hold on. Don't do anything, allow it some time. Anyone else having the same problem other than Vaishali and Atulya, because you can see Atulya's machine, like, screen right now. And Vaishali is mentioning that. Okay, so Yash, follow this along, right? Do the basic installation. We can do the basic installation rather than that, right? And follow along with this one. Okay, Rohit, no problem. Rohit, just follow this one, and please keep sharing your screen, Atulya, because I would just tell everyone what to do after that, what we are done.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Okay. It will take some time. It's a bit heavier software. It's not. Okay, that's wonderful. Now see that, everyone who is following along, now if you see an option, install SSMS, the third button at the bottom. Can you, Atulya, go and click on this
Yeah.
third button? Yes, install SSMS. Click on that. Wonderful. Can you just scroll down a little bit? Yeah, sorry. Yeah, download SSMS, this one. SQL Server Managed Studio 20.1. Click on that and just hold on. It will download the file and you can see it is downloading. Can you open your download folder so that we can have it's half a, almost 60-70% downloaded. Okay, wonderful. It is done. Can you click on that? SSMS setup, the last file that has come up. Click on that.
Yeah.
Okay, Prachi, I'll help with you. Don't worry. Prachi, let first do this with Atulya and then I'll come to you, right? Yes, do install. Do install. So I'm expecting, Rohit and everyone, you guys are also following along with this. And we are right now installing, and I'll talk about what is this SSMS, what was the database that we installed and all those things. And we'll just talk about a lot of things once we are done with the installations. Wonderful, Yash. Thank you. Wonderful. Okay, so I'm expecting that most of you will have this progress. Anyone else has reached to this point? Like again, as Atulya is on right now, Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio is around 50% or done. Wonderful, Rash. Yes, yes, thank you. Anyone else other than Rash? Wonderful, Becky. Wonderful. Can you close that now, Atulya?
Yeah.
Close that. Wonderful. And now go to your program menu at the bottom, search. Like at the bottom, search and write SSMS here. SSMS. Yes. No, no. Yeah. Not the setup, the second one in the apps. Yeah, this one. Click on this. Click on this and wait. So now this is successfully done. And I would be happy to listen from others as well who will be successfully done with this one. And Atulya, be here because I would be just, telling what to do after that.
Yeah.
So
So for me, it is taking time to install the
can you close that?
Windows
Yes,
on
close that
Mac
one. Sorry.
application. Sir, for me, it is taking time to install Windows on application Apple.
Okay,
So
not a problem, not a problem. Because
yeah,
it takes some time. So, but if it
yeah,
is
yeah,
successfully going on, it's good, right?
yeah. I
Vaishali,
will
just
try to
hold
complete
hold
it,
on
but
for a
you
minute.
can continue.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so do you see that, Vaish? Like, if you guys, I can tell you something interesting here. This is connecting to the server, and I would like to tell you that right now Atulya has installed this one, and Atulya's Express server name is like this: laptop 9A44A DVC slash SQL Express. So now, if you just click on connect, just without doing anything, Atulya, can you click on connect?
Yeah.
Okay, cannot connect to a connection was successfully established, sir, but then error occurred during the login process. Provider was caused by authority that is not trusted. Okay, I'll see that. Can you hit OK now? Can you hit OK? And okay, can you check on this trust server certificate at the no in the second section, the bottom? Trust server certificate. Yeah. No, the checkbox.
Checkbox. Yeah.
This one. Yeah. And now try to connect that. Right. Okay. So now wait here. So this is the successful installation that Atulya has done, and now you are ready for that one, Atulya. This is wonderful. Now you can stop
Thank you,
sharing your
sir.
screen. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, sir.
And we can ask. So Vaishali, you want to share your screen? Can you share your screen now? So it's all good with Atulya. So this is the installation that we want. If you are having any problems, as some people are saying that they are having SSMS problem, don't worry. Share your
Thank
screen.
you, sir.
Yeah. So Vaishali, I'm waiting for your thing. No problem, Atulya. Vaishali, can you share your screen?
Okay, sir. SSMS is downloading now.
Okay, so you mean that now your installation is going fine, right?
Yes.
Okay, no problem. Rohit, can you share your screen? Rohit, SSMS is not
Yes,
installing as
sir.
you see.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, share your screen.
It is looking like this one.
Okay, just hold on. Setup failed. Can you close that? Close that for a second. And can you show me this downloaded SSMS file? Where did this come? Oh yeah, just click on that again. Yeah, sure. Now click on this SSMS setup again. Double click on that. I can understand sometimes, yeah, install. Sometimes what happens is that there are multiple installations and there is some, okay, just hold on. DB for Microsoft, so previous installation. Oh, wonderful. So can you close that? and reboot your machine, of course, you will be logged out. Right? Do you see that the message it is saying that the last installation is requiring for reboot of the machine? So can you do
Okay,
the
sir.
reboot and then again come back and share your screen, right?
Okay, sir.
Yeah,
Okay, sir.
reboot
Thank you,
your
sir.
machine and connect again. Okay. In the meantime, Sohinder, are you getting the same problem? Can you share your screen, Sohinder? Okay, done. Wonderful. You are done, and you see the same as Atulia, right? As you say. Wonderful. So now can I ask a question from everyone? How many of you can see, of course, the same installation and same, everything as Atulia has done, of course, successfully? And I'm expecting that every one of you is now successful. Yes, sure. Why not, Prachi? Do that. Prachi, do that. Yes, that's wonderful. Wonderful. We are waiting for Prachi to share the screen. Puneet is done. Puneet, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so yes, we can see your screen now.
Sir, I'm still at the beginning. It just started to download everything, so that's why I need your help.
Okay, wonderful. What's the problem? Can you show me the problem?
Yes, sir. Previously, it was not like installing or doing anything,
Uh-huh.
but now it started downloading the things that required.
Oh, that's wonderful. So now it is downloading everything, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, that's wonderful. So, Prachi, do this. And when you reach successfully to the point where, we see that Atulia's machine, like, you have that installed SSMS and you are logging into your database, you are done. You can successfully say that you're done, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
okay. Not a problem. Anyone else having problem? Because I see a lot of people giving message that they are done. Wonderful. Arshid, I can see your message. Sure, sure, sure. We can go ahead. Go ahead. We can go ahead. Okay, just hold on. Database recovery, friend failed, click the SQL Server log for. Okay. Um, can you close this? Close that for a second. Yes, exit out. And now show me your download where you have downloaded the file again. Um, where is that downloaded file? Is it? Yeah. Can you double click on that again? Basic. Yes. And accept. Right. And now just do that install. And I would like to hear from that student who just rebooted their machine. Are they able to now install that? Because it was asking for a reboot. Otherwise, it should. And who was that student? I even don't remember the name. If someone remembers the name, can you tell me? Or if you are hearing yourself, can you let me know that yes, your screen is done now? Okay. Okay, Rohit, you are here. So I think Rohit it was you. So Rohit, can
Yes,
you
sir.
try installation? Can you try installation now?
Sir, it is on the way.
Oh, wonderful. So, Bigam, can you, your machine is going on right now. Bigam, can you unmute yourself as well?
Yes.
It would be good. Just hold on with it. Take some time. No problems.
Yes.
It's taking very long in your machine. Even though it takes some time, it's not a problem, but it's taking too much time here. Just hold on, hold on. Bigam, what was the point when it got failed last time?
So it was like just installing, then after
Sorry?
a second, it was installing at first, then after a second, it just after this step, it showed the error.
Okay, let's see that. No, maybe this time it goes successfully. Otherwise, we can. Otherwise, it might be some previous installation that is causing a problem, and sometimes you need to uninstall the previous all the occurrences of that one,
Oops.
and sometimes it works. But let's see what does it do right now.
The last time it didn't take this much of time.
Sorry,
The last time it didn't took this much of time.
it did not take that much time, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see that. Okay, Vaishali, this is wonderful. You have done the installation, and Vaishali, you have reached to this point where, we had, I think Atulya was there, and you are now able to see your SSMS being logged in with the database, connected with the database, right? Okay, wonderful. That's wonderful. Vaishali, not logged in. When you started your SSMS, like Atulia did that, you see that there was a window coming up, that database, and that was showing your server name, SQL Server Express name, and you had to we just clicked on the connect, and you are connected to the database, not login. It's basically connecting to the database. You know what I mean?
Sir, I install it and now it is, I think, working. Can you see it?
Who is that? Rohit?
Yes, sir.
So Rohit, it's working now.
Yes, sir.
And are you able to connect to your database as we connected Atulia's machine?
Sir, I did like that, the trust the certificate like that and continue.
Okay. Can you share your screen, and because it right now BigM is having installation, so we can wait right now. Can you share your screen,
Yes,
Rohit,
sir.
to
Yes, sir.
ensure us? Yeah. And please don't touch this BigM. Just keep it going. Ask it. Wonderful. Yes, you are on the right screen. Yes.
So
So
here,
Rohit,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
you're done. And we'll just
Thank,
talk about this one. Now we'll just start talking about from this onward. Don't worry. Right.
thank you,
Thank you.
sir.
No problem. BigM, can you just reshare your screen? No problems. I was just wondering if I can see that what's going on with his machine.
So it just showed this error again.
Prachi, yes. What was the next step? Yes. Okay. Okay. So this is the problem, Begum, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Begum, you need to do one thing. Unable to install SQL Server setup.exe, exit code decimal. So you could not find the database. Engine startup handler. Okay. So Begum, do two things. First of all, can you close that? Can you go to your okay. Vaishali, I will just tell you, just wait, hold on. Can you go to your apps and see wherever SQL Server Express you see you have to uninstall that one? In your settings, maybe yes, add or remove programs, maybe. Yeah, this one. And if you find anything related to SQL Server, um, SQL Server 2022. You see that SQL Server 2022 is coming at this one. Can you uninstall that one, maybe? See that uninstall?
So
Yeah, and install the other one as well, SQL Server 22 English setup, whatever it is. You know, remove that. Just remove that. Okay. Yes, do that. By the way, you have that. uh,
do I select it, sir?
yeah, so select that database engine services and next. Actually, you know what you need to do, Begin. You need to
Yes.
uninstall everything that is related to this one already being installed. Remove. Just click on remove, maybe.
Okay, sir. I will.
You know what I mean? Remove everything and then reboot your machine and then do a fresh installation. You know what I mean?
Yes, I got it.
Yeah, just try that out. Try that out.
Okay,
Okay,
sir.
so
Okay.
yes, Prachi, after installing SSMS, can you share your screen and I'll tell you what to do? Maybe someone other will also be waiting, like Vaishali or maybe Prachi. You can share your screen. Okay, it's Prachi's machine, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you have installed this SSMS now.
Yes, sir. By going through this link, I
Wonderful.
have
Can you?
installed it. Yes.
Okay. Can you go to your search at the bottom? Go to the search box at the bottom and click
Yes, sir.
S and write
Yes, sir.
SSMS. SSMS, and you see that? No, just hold on, hold on. It's just giving the
Yes,
setup.
sir.
Looks like, oh no, it's there. At the bottom, you see apps, SQL Server Management Studio 20.
Yes, sir.
Click on
Yes, sir.
that, click on that, and now wait. Now,
Yes,
Vaishali, you
sir.
should also follow this along, right? So you will see the window and just wait with me. And once I ask you, then you go. So can you show us the screen where it's showing us? Oh yeah, this is wonderful. Now,
Yes,
yes.
sir.
Now click on this trust server certificate. No, the checkbox.
S-
Uh,
check.
in the second section at the towards the bottom, yeah, trust server certificate. Do you see that? After mandatory one,
Uh,
yes. Oh my God.
Mandatory.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
here,
This
yes.
one.
And now connect. Now connect.
Yes, sir.
And this is wonderful. Your and Prachi, by the way, your SQL Server name is Prachi 096, I think, slash SQL Express. You know what I mean?
Yes,
And
sir.
that is
Yes,
an
sir. Yes,
important
sir.
thing because later on we will be connecting it to the applications and we'll be needing this name.
Got it.
And we can find out that name, not a problem. Yes, Vaishali, why
Okay.
not? Okay, so you are good. Prachi. Vaishali, share your screen
Okay.
and we'll just solve this problem and then we'll do. Okay, that's wonderful. Can you check this trust server certificate at the bottom section, the checkbox? No, no.
Sorry, sir.
Yeah. So you see this encryption in the second section at the bottom, towards the bottom. Do you see that trust server certificate checkbox? No, no.
Oh,
Yeah, this
okay,
one.
okay,
Click on
okay.
that and now click on
But
connect.
there is not my name.
Okay, that's
Desktop.
not that's why it is showing. It's actually showing your desktop name, your
Okay,
machine name. Your machine might have this name desktop something. So
okay,
it's showing desktop J9CCL whatever and slash SQL Express. So this is your server name. No worries.
okay.
It just
Then
takes the name of the machine. Yes, click on connect
connect.
and see that. Wonderful. You are done. It's successful.
Okay.
And don't
Uh,
worry about that. It's not showing your name because might be your machine name is that and it's taking your desktop machine name, right?
okay. Now it's done, right?
Now it's done. It's all good. It's all
Okay,
good.
okay.
Everyone is
Thank
all
you,
good.
sir.
That's wonderful. Now I'm expecting last question because we'll take a quick break and then we'll just start discussion. Very important discussion. So my last question: can I have everyone write a Y in the chat window who have done this successfully? As I can see the screen of Vaishali. So can you write that Y in the chat window? Then we'll take a break and after break we'll start discussion on this one. I would like everyone to just put in a Y in the chat window who has done the successfully done. Okay, yes, thank you, Jaspreet, Varun, Kevin, and those who had already that, they can also write a Y so that I know that okay, everyone is with me. Shahana is done, Vaishali, Puneet. Okay, okay, is that everyone who has done that? Or maybe if you are missing, you can just write a Y in the chat room. Okay, so let's take a break of 10 to 15 minutes. Let's take a break of 15 minutes around, and I'll be back. Sampreet, you say N because you have Mac, right? So see if you can maybe do that installation or whatever. Sampreet, right?
Sir, I can share my screen right now or after the break. I have some problem.
Who is that?
It's Smith Kumar.
Smith Kumar. Smith, let's do it after the break, right? After the break, let's
Okay,
do
okay,
it,
no problem, sir.
right? So I'll be back around it's 2:18 in clock right now. So I'll be back around 2:32 or 2:33 around. Let's take a 15 minutes break, right? Okay, so I'm back. Hopefully everyone is here. Can I have everyone just write a chat message who is here? Okay, wonderful. I can see a lot of people are already here. Wonderful. Okay, so one last student, if I take, like someone was saying that they were having Smith Kumar, you are having problem. Can we quickly take you as quickly, and then we'll be just, so.
No, sir, my issue was resolved.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's
Okay,
wonderful. And
okay, thank you.
this gives us a chance to just start discussing something. Okay, that's great. And now I'll share my screen shortly, and I'll show you that what you have to do and what we can do with this screen. Some of you might be familiar with this SSMS, but I'll talk about what is this SSMS all about and what is that we are using. So now I'll share my screen now, and I hope you can now see my screen, and let's start talking about, first of all, what is that. So now this is SQL Server Management Studio, and since I have this version 19 and you guys have just done 20, so you are having that other options for authentication and things, etc. But for me, it was like that. So whenever you have hit this connect, you could see that most of you were able to see their database name on this left top, and then there are multiple things inside that. Okay, I would like to talk about them, but let's first of all see that what is this SSMS and what is this SQL Server. First of all, we have installed this SQL Server in our machines, and we have downloaded this SQL Server. So actually, what is SQL Server? The SQL stands for Structured Query Language. Now, SQL is a standard, standard query language, structured query language that is basically used for the interaction with the databases. Now that's very interesting concept. So when we say that SQL is a generic term that we talk about, structured query language. Microsoft, they have their own version of SQL or the database, which is called SQL Server. Now, SQL Server is a database. Now here comes a discussion on this database. If we go to our, like this again, course week 1, there is a document with the name of intro. I'll just open that one, and I'd like to talk about few things over here. And again, this is again the previous slide that I'm using, and again I'll just do that updates shortly with that one. So this mostly has course outline, course description, resources, course outcome, unit outcome, evaluation, and instruction plan. We have just seen that one. So Microsoft Server, this documentation and everything, and there are optional videos as well of database management. If you want to look at that, most of them are LinkedIn videos if you want to look at that. Now this is the discussion that we'll start from. First of all, what is a relational database? And I would really start with my discussion with what is a database. If you guys can just tell me, can you tell me what is the definition of a database rather than relational? I'm just asking, first of all, relational, not relational. What is a database? How do you define a database? Anyone can just define database for me? Then I'll talk about the relational database as well. But first of all, what is a DB? What is a database? I need a quick definition of a database. And you can write that in the chat window, not unmuting yourself because it will be a problem for so many people. Can you guys just write down what is the definition of database? Do you understand? Oh, I don't see any definition. Am I missing the chat? Or organized or simple collection of data? So in the wonderful. Puneet says database is what? And I would like everyone to just write their definition. What is in their mind? Collection of data in organized way. Atulya, wonderful. That's wonderful definition. So Hinder, that's wonderful. Organized or simple collection of data. Puneet says database is collection of data. Okay, wonderful. Anyone else? There are around 21 people here. So I need at least 10 definitions. Collection of data, yes. Collection of data. Collection of data in organized way, Atulya says. Okay. Anyone else? Tarun Kumar, Tarun, if I'm not pronouncing your name wrong, or Varun. Can you guys give the definition, or anyone else? Yes. What is a collection of data? All right. Saving raw data in organized way. Okay. Let's start talking about database in a bit more detail. I'll just take the annotation, and I would like to just work with the annotations over here. Okay. So if I ask you, because I just go this way. If I ask you, what is this? What is this that I've written down? N. Can you just let me know? Of course, most of you will say that it's a letter, it's something. Do you guys understand that it's just a letter or a single single letter, by the way? Do you guys see that? Okay. Now see here. If I combine multiple letters together, N A M E. Now N was a single letter. I combined N A M E. I'll talk about in database language terms. This NAME, collection of few letters, collectively make one field in database. They make one field. This is called a field. When multiple letters, multiple characters, letter or character you can call it, multiple characters are combined together, they make a field. Field in data, like field. Field means name is a field where you can write maybe Alan, where you can write any name. You can write Varun or whatever, you can just write any name in this field. So collection of letters or characters is called field. When multiple fields are combined together, after name, if I write age, another field. If I write, for example, email, another field. Forgive my bad drawing. When multiple fields are collected together, they make one record. Are you guys getting that one? Multiple characters make up a field. Multiple fields make up a record. Why? Because I can put Alan, I can put 20 as age, I can put email as alan@gmail.com, whatever. So this makes it one record. Now, if multiple records are combined together, multiple records. So I have Alan's record, then Varun record, then whatever, Yash record and Atulya record, whatever. So if I collect all those records together, so there will be multiple records. If the multiple records are being combined together, they are called a file, or in more simplest word, they are called a table. Okay. They're called table. What does that mean? So I can collectively make a table where I have record of Alan, where I have record of Varun, where I have record of Atulya, where I have record of Yash, and etc. 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 So when I have collection all these records together, I will call it one table or a file. Now, when multiple tables are combined together, so this table has name, age, and email. This table has, for example, registration or the courses, etc. something, and courses. When multiple tables are combined together, they actually make it as a database. Does that make sense? This statement, like this all? I started with a character. Multiple characters combined together to make one field. Multiple fields combined together to make one record, because I have one record of Alan, one record of Varun, and so on and so forth. When multiple records are combined together, they are called a single file, or they are called a table. And when multiple tables are combined together, we say that they are making a database. As you guys said, it's an organized, or maybe it's a collection of data. And generally we are talking about, when we are saying table, in rows and columns form, multiple tables combined together to make one database. Does that make sense to everyone? Please let me know that you guys are understanding what I'm saying. A database is a collection of tables. We'll talk about related, unrelated, we'll talk about later on. Database is a collection of tables, and tables are collection of multiple records being combined together. And one record is basically collection of multiple fields being combined together. And one field is actually a collection of multiple characters, and N was a character. So we came all the way. So actually, and here is a little discussion. Whenever there is only one table, some people say that a single table database should not be called as a database. Rather, it is called flat file. You might have heard this term, flat file. Flat file, a database that has one file, one table only. That is generally, some people say that, argue, and they say it is called flat file when there is only one table. But it's just a difference of opinion between different people. But now people say that only a single table database is also called database, or if there are multiple tables, that is definitely called as a database containing multiple tables. I hope everyone is making sense of what I'm trying to say here. Now comes the concept of relational database. If I just remove this annotation from here, look at that, relational database. Now databases are there. What is a relational database? Now, a collection of shared related objects that can be simultaneously queried and updated by multiple users at the same time. Interesting. A collection of shared related objects. Shared related objects, they're talking about, again, tables. Maybe there are multiple related tables which are shared that can be simultaneously queried. Like people can, now here is a question. Here's a little question that I might to ask. What is a query? I have a question. What is a query? What is a query? Anyone? Can I have a definition of query from someone? What do you think that what is basically a query? We use this query term in our general life as well a lot. And I have a query, I have a something. But what is a query in terms of databases? Anyone? Request for data. Wonderful. Anyone else? So Hinder says request for data. Might or might not be correct, but again, the answer is given, and that's wonderful. I need, again, your answer might be wrong, but no answer is a problem. But there is no wrong answer for me. Yes, anyone? Like we can edit, delete, or create data with query. Okay, wonderful. Request for information, Shahana says. Begum says action on the data. Okay, wonderful. That's really good definitions. That are really good definitions. Okay. I'll just give you a very interesting definition, or maybe more than that. It's more like the things that you are talking about. Okay. Just give me a second. All right. So now see here. A query is actually, that's a very interesting question. A query is actually a statement to interact with database. To interact. Now this interact can be anything, this interact. So interact with DB. Now this interaction can be request of data. This interaction can be storage of data. This interaction can be updation of data. This interaction can be deletion of data. But query, if someone asks you a definition, what is a query? Typically, what is a query? So you say a query is a statement which is used for the interaction with the database. Make sense, everyone? A very simple definition. Statement to interact with DB is basically called a query. Now, let's come back. So a collection of shared related objects where we have shared related maybe tables or something that can be simultaneously queried. Simultaneously, like, if there are two or more than two tables and we can simultaneously query all of them and update it by multiple users at the same time. That comes up under the relational databases. Relational databases when that tables have relationship between themselves. Users are authenticated using either window authentication or user ID password combination. You will either allow or disallow certain users on the basis of their IDs, on the basis of their password and authentication. What is a user? What should be allowed to the user? And then object access requires access privileges that are controlled by either the owner of the object or by database administrator, a super user. So again, you will be having access privileges. When we say access privileges, we mean that we will typically allow something to some users and something not to some other users. You know what I mean? So that's access privileges. So who is given what privileges? A relational database guarantees the durability of updates, even in the case of catastrophic failures, such as loss of power to the machine or something. A relational database, they say guarantees, but it's much more like a concept that you should keep in mind that nowadays we have got distributed databases where we want that there should not be a single point of failure. Because if you have your database copy only at one location and somehow some catastrophic accident happens, some earthquake, some maybe storm or something, and you lost your database. No, distributed database make it easier that you will able to find that. But here what they are saying that the relational database also makes it sure that the updates and the durability of updates even in the case of catastrophic failures. So that is, we will study that how they make sure that the transactions are being done successfully and people are getting the same results for everything. Now here comes some of the fundamentals. Very interesting. The fundamental data object in a relational table, a relational database is table. Make sense, everyone? We make tables in our relational database. Table consists of columns and rows, more formally relations, attributes, and tuples. And we'll talk about them. They are called relations, they are called attributes, they are called tuples. And we'll see that columns and rows, how they are called relations or attributes or tuples, and we'll just talk about that one. Tables have primary keys and foreign keys which relate them to each other. Now, about primary key and foreign keys. Primary key is something that recognizes something within a table, like you make something unique within a table, and foreign key, that same key that is used to recognize some resource in other tables. We'll talk about most of them. For the most part, the values stored in each column of each row is a single piece of data, such as string Canadian or number 42. So generally, we store one in one cell or one row and column like intersection, which is basically one cell or one area. We will store a single value. It might be a single string, it might be a single digit or something. Tables are defined and queried using a query language. And we use a query language. We have talked about SQL. Microsoft SQL Server supports SQL, as I told you. Structured query language is a standard structured query language. And what Microsoft calls its dialect is called Transact SQL. Now here comes an interview question or an exam question. I would expect you guys to answer this one if I ask this in exam. If I ask you, is SQL a Microsoft product? So what will be your answer? Is it yes or no? Is Microsoft a SQL product? Is SQL a Microsoft product? What is your answer? Yes or no? I need everyone to just answer that. Yes, Shahana says yes. Wonderful. Anyone else? I'm repeating my question, Shahana. Is SQL a Microsoft product? So Ender says yes. Wonderful. Anyone else? Yes or no? Atulya says yes. Samprit says no. Puneet says yes. Okay. Yash says no. Samprit or Yash, can you guys explain your no? Maybe any one of you. Why do you say no? Because people are saying yes. Why did you say no? Because your answer is maybe correct. So you tell me what is the reason of your no? Samprit or Yash? What is the reason of your no? Exactly. SQL is not a Microsoft product. SQL is a standard structured query language. You see here, look at that. Microsoft SQL Server supports SQL. So SQL is a standard language. Microsoft SQL Server is the one database that follows this standard SQL, and its dialect typically is called Transact SQL. Now, here is another question. Here is another question. If I ask you, is Transact SQL a generally available software, or it is proprietary to Microsoft? Like, I'll ask again, is Transact SQL a general software available, or it's proprietary to Microsoft? Is it proprietary or a general one? So your answer will be again, the Transact SQL is Microsoft's dialect of standard SQL. Vaishali and those Puneet, those who said yes, are you guys understanding? SQL is not Microsoft's product. Rather, SQL Server or Transact SQL is Microsoft product. Wonderful. Do you guys understand that? Wonderful. You guys understand that one? So those who said no, they were right, because I was asking a question, is SQL Microsoft product, which is wrong, which is not correct. Okay. Originally, Microsoft Server came from Sybase in 1993. Sybase was another previous version of there, and that was Microsoft SQL Server came from that one. History of relational database management system. Now this is very important. There are two things. One is called database, and what is called database management system. Now let's come back to this window. It says Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. Remember, this Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio is a studio, or is a management tool that help us to interact with the database. And what is the database here? This is a tool to interact with database. What is the database? Can anyone tell me, looking at my window, that which one is the database that I'm using? And this is actually, I'm saying this is a tool to interact with database. But what is the database that I have in my machine installed? Anyone? Did you guys understand my question? I'm saying that this SSMS is a SQL Server Management Studio that I will use to interact and to work on my database. What is the database I'm talking about? Anyone? So I want you to be very clear about these two things, the database and the management studio. They are two different things. Has anyone written anything after Athulia's yes? I think no one has written down, or maybe I'm not getting the chat messages. I don't know. I'll have to look at that. Okay, looks like no one has said anything. Primary relational database. No. So my question is that SSMS is a tool that I'm using to manage my database. What is the database that I have installed? Puneet says primary relational. Puneet, wonderful answer, but this is not the right answer. Anyone, what is the database? So listen, this is very important. Yes, Samprit, SQL Server or SQL Server that I have installed. SQL Server is the name of database, and SSMS or SQL Server Management Studio is the way which I will use to interact with my SQL Server database. Can I have a yes in the chat window from all of you? Do you understand what we are talking about? Samprit has given a very right answer. SQL Server is the database, and SQL Server Management Studio is the studio is the management tool that I will use to interact with my database, to play with my database. Wonderful. Thank you very much for your answer, uh, Puneet, or whatever, who has who has answered. Okay, so we're talking about this intro. So history of relational database management system. There were lots of relational database management system. 1960s file systems, often tape. They were very simple systems, and they were the tape systems. There was no concept of database. 1970s, they were code ASYL, and hierarchical system 2000 was introduced. Multi-user access, notion of transaction, serializability. There were lots of things happening in 1970s, but that there was very little advancements being done in computers and databases. So it was in the very infancy. IMS is still there was a multi-user access will allowed, and then IMS is still extremely popular, efficient, and well engineered. 1980s introduction to relational data. So in 80s, the relational database management were introduced. The relational databases were introduced. Oracle, Sybase, SQL Server, Ingress, and three pioneering products. Sybase introduced stored procedures in 1983. We'll talk about stored procedures. We'll work with stored procedures, by the way. And Teradata introduced a hardware-based engine in 1984. Ad hoc query language, Quell, SQL, or SQL were introduced during those days. So these were the history. So history, the last 2 decades, like we are right now experiencing the last 2 decades, have object-oriented database system are introduced to have become niche products for a specific application domain. We have object-oriented database systems as well. Relational systems have improved tremendously in sophistication, supports a wide variety of data types, including spatial data, structured types, and arrays. Much more powerful, feature-rich SQL language. Relationals have supported most of the advanced concepts. The last 10 years have seen a wave of research into cloud computing and resurgence of simple data models and navigational interfaces to provide predictable performance. And last 10 years have been wonderful and remarkable, because now we have got so much databases and so much advancement in databases. In cloud computing, you find a lot of clouds around you. You have Azure from Microsoft, you have GCP from Google, you have AWS from Amazon, and they are just doing a wonderful job in giving us that distributed database and online databasing that we are doing these days. So that they're just doing this wonderful thing. SQL beginnings. So what was the SQL? SQL is a relational tuple calculus language. It's a language, SQL, structured query language, which is generally called as relational tuple calculus. And we'll just talk about what does that mean. Specific what to retrieve, not how. So specifies what to retrieve, what we want to retrieve, not how, we don't know, but just SQL says you write a query and retrieve the data. How it is retrieving, not your job. Requires a query optimizer to translate the request into an execution plan. This is very important. We'll talk about execution plan, because we'll talk about queries speed in our advanced topics. We'll see that how query speed does really matters. Execution plans are typically based on relational algebra. Execution plans are very important because they make plan how query will go and run our data, go and access our data. That is execution plan will just do that. One out over domain calculus languages such as Quell, Ingress, and RDO from DEC or from Digitals. So they have just taken out, or they have just won their race from out of these previously available databases, and these SQL systems are now working. So SQL standards in early 80s, standardization efforts for retrieval language for code ASYL network database were underway. Languages were called NDS. They were called NDS in those time. IBM's addition of SQL DS in the marketplace in 1983 and DB2 in 1985 forced a change, standardize a new query language to support relational model. First attempt was to extend SQL academic prototype. So this SQL was that language previously, and that was ultimately that has become SQL. And X3H2 committee decided to adopt SQL as ad hoc query language of choice based on availability of commercial implementation. So you see that around in 1980s, 83, 85, SQL was adopted as the main ad hoc programming language, like query language to work with the databases. Other contenders were Quell and RDO, RDB from DEC. Again, right now we mostly deal with these these structural SQL based languages, most of them. Microsoft SQL Server is one of the very popular product from Microsoft. but there are other versions as well of that, of those, some of the applications, and we'll talk about some of them later on. So client server versus personal databases. So now Microsoft SQL Server is a server-based or network database that permits client server deployments. So it will allow us to have client server deployments, and we'll just run database, and I'll show you a few things today. Comparable products include Oracle, DB2, SAP, and remember this SAP, we generally call it SAP. It's not SAP, it's actually the people of SAP will mind if you say SAP. It's SAP Adaptive Server Enterprise, SAP SQL Anywhere, Anywhere. So, you know, these are the advancements of comparable products that are in the market these days, and that are working with these one. Then we have MySQL, Postgres, both open source. MySQL that works with PHP, and Postgres, PostgreSQL, which you have, you know, that these are you know, one of the kind of the databases, but they are open source. Basically, they're not product of anything. As we see that Ingress, then Actian, now Ingress once again. So Ingress is one of the proprietary one, but MySQL and PostgreSQL, they are open source. They're not proprietary of anyone. Personal databases designed to run in processes linked with applications code or standalone deployed with application. SQL Anywhere, SQL Server for CE, Sybase, Ultralight, and SQL Server. These are all our, like, you know, personal databases available. So again, they are just asking to install this SQL Server. We have just done that one. You have got one, like all those things. And now here comes the first exercise or little thing that we have to do. So in file open. So again, first of all, let's go over here and let's get our hands dirty with this one. Now, when you go to your server, you will find certain databases. So first database that they want to work with is and load the file create SIS database.sql. So let's go back to our server. Do you see that? Let me know if you guys see that. There is an option of databases. Do you guys see that databases? And in the databases, this is the one, create SIS database. Can you please download this one? Do you guys see this create database, create SIS database? After begins, yes. Can anyone let me know that you guys see that? Okay, wonderful. Download that one. And of course, it will be in your downloads now. If you go to your downloads, I'll just show you. If you go to your downloads, I'll show you where is that one. So we have got this create SIS database. Everyone has done that? Wonderful. Now let's go back to this SQL Server file, open, and let's say we just want to run. Okay, so it's like we have to access the database, but let's see that how does it want us to just access that? Now let's do that. File, and load the file creator. So let's open the file. Let's open the file. File, open, and that's file. And this is in our downloads. Go to the download and click on this one. Create sis.sql. The file is opened over here. Now, this is a very interesting file, and I'll talk about this file as well later on. But what it is doing is that it is creating certain database. We'll talk about most of the code. Don't worry about that one. But right now, let's follow that along. The over here. Press execute. So now let's come back over here and see this execute button. Can you click on this execute button? Now it has run the query. It is showing few things at the bottom. We'll talk about that. It is just running. The query executed successfully, and we have certain things at the bottom. Don't worry what is coming up. The thing that I want to show you, and they have also mentioned that over there. Refresh the list of database. So let's go back here and refresh. Go to the database and press refresh. And now open up this database. I will have multiple databases because I have this old one. But do you guys see that you should have this SIS database in your machine? After Arshit, yes. How many of you see this SIS database that is created over here? Wonderful. You guys have that SIS? Wonderful. Now, interestingly, this script that we have copied here, we'll talk about this script. So it is still, so if I just go there and if I run that script again, look at that, what will happen. It is showing me all those things, employee number. So it has created that database, even though, the script, they have mentioned a script that if it is already there, it should not do that. It should print that, whatever. We'll just, see that one. But anyhow, I would like to just, tell you a few things. Let's follow it along and then I'll talk about that. So from the left side, you can expand SIS database to see the list of tables. Note that the tables are owned by user DBO. DBO is there. See SIS database diagrams.pdf on econostock of simple data. I'll just talk about that one. But for playing around, if I just come back over here, let's see that. If you just extend this SIS, look at that, and extend these tables. Can you open these tables? And just to play around, if you want to see some data, there are lots of tables over here. If I come to this DBO employees, right click on that and say select top 1,000 rows. Look at that, select top 1,000 rows. You see some data appears over here. Can you guys see that? When you click on right click, select top 10,000 number rows, it brings up all these rows over here and it gives us these tables over here. Wonderful. Okay, what else they want us to play with? You'll see the first 1,000 rows of the table SQL statement that was generated the product result to see all the data. So now let's come back over here and let's do something with me. And I'll just do that from over here. I would go and I would write a new query. I click on this new query. Click on new query. And in this new query, I would say select everything. Select status from, right? I can directly write employee as well. Let's see if it works. From employee, this employee database. And if I run this statement, I execute that, I get everything from that database. You see, I don't need to write the DBO. You sometimes, when it generates the statement, it writes that dbo.employee SIS and dbo.employee. But we can write that directly. And you see that every column, everything has appeared over here. Make sense, everyone? Now here comes an interesting one. There is a database called country as well. I can write select everything from country, which is a table. Now, here, if I execute this, remember that it will run both of them together. If I want to run one of the statement, I'll just select that one and I'll click on execute. Look at that. It will only run that country. Are you guys getting that one? If I just say select static. So select static means select everything from country. Static means everything. Let's see what else they have done that. So select static from DBO employee. You can just write directly employee as well. Playing around too. To see all the users tables in your database, execute the following script. Now, if I want to see that what are the different users on this database, which is a little bit advanced, but we'll talk about that. To see all the user tables in database, execute the following script in new query window. So I have just opened up a new query window. And if I just run this select static from system objects where X type is equal to U. Let's run this command. And I told you that how to run a command individually. If I just run this one and I just select this one and I hit execute. Look at that. It has just given me all the users or select system objects where basically the X type is basically equal to user. And don't worry about this query. I'll talk about this query as well. I've just run this query over here. So it is giving me all the users. The catalog of a database is also set to tables. Just don't worry about that one. But do you see that? Do you understand that how to run a query? You can run this query. And for today, I'll just give you a little bit of little bit more things to work on, and just that you can just always just play with that one. So this status actually refers to all columns, everything. So if I just run this command, select static from employee, look at that. It is executing the query. It brings up all the. So all columns of employee have been coming over here. Now, if I want a particular column, what I will do, I'll just come here and I will write select, not asterisk. Asterisk means everything. And I don't want everything over here. I just want some typical, some typical columns. For example, I want a column reports to, comma. For example, I want school code, another column, and location. Location from employee. Are you guys getting that one? Now, if I just select this statement and I run execute, look at that. I just get 3 columns. Are you guys getting that one? And don't worry about this where, and I'll talk about this where and everything. But select reports to school code location from employee. So it just brings up reports to school code and location from that particular table. Make sense, everyone? And now this was one of the practice and one of the things that they have all more mentioned in that, I think, for some practice questions or something. And I would leave you guys with that one. So this is lab or maybe select. Let's do that. Oh, it's a select query file. Don't worry about that. And I will just go lab or this one, select PDF statement. Look at that. So C standards, code, SQL coding standards, PDF in Keyconistoga, there is a SQL standard. The primary goal of standards is readability. Styles of writing SQL are as abundant as styles of writing the software artifacts. However, you should follow these rules. Major clause should always begin in a new line. SQL language keyword should appear in uppercase. You see that I have written down in uppercase. Note that SQL is a case agnostic language. Case agnostic language means again that it would see that. Now I'll show you that. What is that case agnostic? Let's see that. So agnostic in an information technology context refers to do something that is generalized so that it is interoperable among various systems. So it is actually, if you see that case sensitivity is lowercase a and capital case A are different. But if you look at over here, if I even write this select is smaller. If I say select static from employee, I've written down the same statement in small words. If you just do that, you see that it's still running. So it never really cares about that one. So don't worry about that one. It will just work for you. However, so indent subqueries and drive tables in from clause from the major clauses of each line up together to unit. We'll talk about that when you're writing subqueries. You have to indent them. Indenting will help your that one. To practice for exercise 1, create a file named like this, ex0.sql. And for assignments, create a file named like this, a0.sql. You'll have to just create naming SQL files. You can just create that. We will add comments of SQL statement into file as it is an exercise to the assignment. So now, to show line numbers, tools, options, text editor, and you see that. What we can do, we can just go to the tools. If you look at that one right now, there are no line numbers being shown over here. If I want to have that line numbers, if I want to show that, go to tools option, text editor, translate SQL, and general. So let's go there. Tools and options. So in general, if you just see that, where is that in general? We have in general Look, in tools options, we have to go to text editor. Sorry, tools and options. Let's do that. Tools and options, text editors. Where is my text editor? This is here. And in that text editor, let's go to transact SQL. And over here, let's see the line numbers. And if it do okay, you'll see that line number will appear over here. And that line number is always helpful, right? So let's do that line numbers here. And comments in SQL are 2 dashes or /static and matching /static. It's a multi-line comment, single line comments. If you know in JavaScript as we do that. So if you want to write a comment over here, so you just come here and you'll say my comments. And if you want to write multiple line comments, like in JavaScript, this is multi-line comment. We can extend to multiple lines, something like that. And if I do that matching static /, now this goes as a statement. So right. So these are the comments in our SQL language, and we can just use these comments as well in the SQL language. Right. So these are few things. Let's move back and let's see what else we want to do that. So make comments in your SQL file. So begin your SQL file with comment like that. This is very important. You write your section name, student name, and always you should have on your all your assignments or SQL files. You should have this one over there. Oh, you have an error. Select study. Yeah. So you know why you have an error, and this is a good error to have. That's a wonderful error. Can you share your screen, Vaishali, for a second? Because I'll tell you why this error is coming.
Okay, sir.
Share your screen. And hold on. Oh, I cannot see your screen. Oh,
Okay.
hold on. Look at that. Now for everyone, look at the top corner or like on the left corner, there is a database name being master being used over here. Do you see Vaishali, the master? Can you drop it down and
Okay.
select SIS? So you need to
SIS.
select that database. There are two options for them. Anyhow, just you run the query first for run the query.
Okay, sir. Got it.
Wonderful. Now there is one another way. Can you go to the can you go to the select and hit enter and make it at the bottom? Like, I want to write one more statement before that.
Select and hit enter.
Yes, hit enter. Oh, they are removed. I was asking that keep this line and just add one more line to the top. Can you? Yes, hit enter before that. No. Go before select. Take your cursor to the select.
Okay.
No, don't select that. Take your cursor only.
Okay.
My God. Yes, and now hit enter. Now go to the top and write
Okay.
use, capital USE. Use.
Okay.
And space SIS. Capital SIS. And
Okay.
a terminator, maybe, statement gone. Now this use statement will use that typical database that you want to use over there. You know what I mean? So even if now you go and the drop down and make it master again. You go and make it master again. Drop down, make it master again.
Okay.
And now run your query here. Execute that. Execute your queries. Do you see that SIS is changed over there by itself?
Okay, sir.
You understand, Vaishali? So it
Yes,
actually
sir.
does what? It actually takes your it takes that database and selects that database for you. Make sense?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Wonderful, no problem. Okay, right. So now where were we? Oh, I will have to share my other screen. Let me share my screen. Where is that? This one. So, always on your files, you have to just give your name like this on the comments. So every file should have your name, section, whatever, and the date, whatever. And like this, whenever you are just, doing that. Identify answers, whenever you are just, doing the answers, you can write the comment like this, and you can just, say that print, and then, identify each answer with a comment and print a statement like this. Print question number 1, print this one. Print actually prints out in the output. As you see that it will just, print out that output and just write your that one. So select basics. If you look at that one, select status, as I told you, select all columns. When we say select, it will be all columns, right? And here's the saying that the first statement select static from employee and it will take out everything. Now, if you want to bring one single column, you will just bring select number from employee. And as we have done that, we have just done that single column or multiple columns. You can bring multiple columns by printing comma, number, comma, reports to campus code. You can just bring from employees. This is number 3. Common aliases. This is very important. This is very important. This is called aliasing when you use as. I'll show you. Let's do that typically. So for example, I want to bring this, let's say that, let's select reports to, if I write as XYZ, something like that, from employee. Look at that. If I run this statement, I have only one column and it comes up as the name XYZ. Do you guys make sense of this? For example, I say rename it as name, something like that. If I want to call it name, anything. If I execute that, you see that the column field. So aliasing means we just change the name of the column when it is printed. When it comes on, its name is changed. You see that? Select last name as surname from person. So the output will have surname. So this as clause can be omitted. If we want the as clause is optional and can be omitted. We can just do that. And how can we do that? Select last name space space surname and then city from the person. So it will just run from that line. Let's run this command. Let's go and run this command from there. So if I just mention that, and if I just select that one and I execute this, look at that surname. It is just last name is coming up as the surname. So we can just omit out as well. Last name, surname, and city is coming as city. If I just come over here and after city, I say something like that, if I just want to mention that one. So let's run that one, and you see that something becomes the city. Make sense, everyone? I hope you guys are enjoying this one, and let's move forward. Create a calculated column. This is very interesting. Create a calculated column with an expression. If we want to create a calculated column, what we'll do, select column 1 and expression from table name. So look at that. Select student number, amount into 1.02 from payment. So what it will do, it will take the amount and multiply it 1.02 and it will bring that one. So let's do that. Let's run that command as well. And why not? Let's copy this. Let's copy this one and let's run this command. And if I run this, look at that. So it is just there is no column name being given. It takes the amount from the payment. And now, why not? If you want to check what is in payment, let's select everything from payment first of all. And that will show me if I just run this command. I have in payment ID, student number, invoice number, transaction date, payment method, and amount. So what it is doing right now, it just takes the amount, multiplies it 1.02, and it just gives up that. But of course, there is no column being used or name being used. So if I just come here and I say, for example, if I say fees, for example, something like that, so it renames that as fees, and you can rename that this one as well, and you say name, for example. So it will just take out those as name and everything, right? So these are really interesting some expression with a meaningful alias. So meaningful alias, as you see that as penalty, amount into 1.02 as penalty. So it will just come out as penalty. You can just check these one. This is important. Distinct. So distinct is basically is not a function, but it's a select statement which brings out distinct values only. Right? So for example, you see that select distinct student number from payment, because one student might have made multiple payments. So let's do that. I'll show you something. If we use that without distinct, you'll see that what will happen. Control C. If I just come here and I say select not distinct, select a student number from payment. If I just select a student number and I run that, look at that. This is the student number coming up, and you can see that these three are the same. So when a student and makes multiple payments, so these are coming up over here. Now, if I come here and we write distinct, Distinct. Now look at that. Now, how many records are there? If you look at that, query successfully, executed, and there are 31 rows. Look at that, 31 rows. Now, if I just go here and I just run this command, look at that, we have 15 rows only. Do you guys understand the distinct one? That if there is a distinct values, distinct is not a function. It consider all the values in the select list with each row of the result. It just goes there and just find out. It's not a function by itself. Functions are different. Order by one column ascending. Now, if I want to bring something with column ascending, ascending column, we will just use order by statement. So if I write select last name, first name from person, order by last name, so it will make ascending the last name. You can just run these commands and check for this database. There are lots of commands. So ascending is the default and therefore is optional and seldom used in practice. So we do not use ASC because ASC is the default one. But if you want to do the descending, you have to use DESC, order by last name descending. Makes sense? It will just come up again in the reverse. Why not? Let's run this descend, because ascending is default, but descending is something you need to do that. So if I just run this one, so now you see that the last name is coming up in the descending order. And if I skip out this, if I just don't write this anything over here and I run that one, you see that they are coming up as a ascending one. The last name from the person, order by last name. So last name is coming up as that one. Make sense, everyone? So you can just use that one. Order by column 2 with column 1. So if you look at that, if you say that from person, order by last name, comma first name, so it will first order by last name and then by the first name. So if you have column 2 within column 1, so it will just use that one. So if you just run that one command, let's run this command over here. So it will just bring out last name and first name, and it will order by first name and then last name. Look at that. So it will just, first of all, first priority will be the first name, and then it will just order by the last name. And again, if you just come here and you say DESC, it will go on descending. It will go descending. And again, no, it's not going to the descending. Let's do that for the first column, first of all. Okay. Spelling was incorrect. Now it is going on descending for the last name. And we put here first name. Let's see if it does that. If I'm running the right syntax, sometimes syntax. Yeah. So it's first of all going for the first name, and then it might be, secondly, it can go to the second name, right? And then order by column 2 within column 1 descending. If we are doing descending, so last name descending and first name is over here, that we have just done that. And column 2 within column 1 descending using an alias. So if you want to use the alias, you will be using this last name as surname, first name per person. And the alias name is used for the descending one, right? We'll use the alias name, and that is where. Okay, so the where clause. This is very interesting. Where clause. And let me see how much they have just given. Okay, wonderful. So where clause is very interesting. Where actually represents the condition. The condition. So select something from where something. So search condition is a mix of comparison predicate, like predicate, quantified subquery predicate, is null predicate, and so on. Combined using and or not. A comparison predicate is a column compare. So now again, these are all the comparison operators, less than, equal to, whatever. So if I come here and if I say, if you remember that we were saying that, for example, select reports to as name employee. If I just say that, so you see that they are just giving the report to as name. So the report to is coming up as name. So where, if I just if I just want to just root that, I'll just say that. Just look at that. So for example, if I just if I select everything from here, first of all, let's bring everything. from employee. So employee report to, and then we have got, maybe location. So there are multiple things that might be there. There is a number over there as well. So I can say, for example, in the where condition, I can say select status from employee where, right? Select everything from employee where location is equal to 4A17, right? And I'll put that in single quotes. 4A17. Location is equal to 4A17, right? Let's do that. So you see that it only brings up all those records which have only location is equal to. So where basically applies the conditioning. You can apply condition not equal to, you can apply condition equal to, greater than or equal to some values you want to bring, and we'll see a lot of examples of this one program. Okay, when you're using equal, we have just seen that where amount is equal to 1000, just bring up those students. We have amount is equal to 1000, and you will do that. Single and double quotes, use single quotes around literal values in SQL statement. For example, where status is equal to NV, SQL Server lets you omit single quotes for numeric literals. If numeric literals are there, we can leave them out. It permits comparison of different types by utilizing the implicit type conversion. Can always make this explicit type using cast. Cast is there to do that, but it does that one. Double quotes are used for non-standard column names, especially those with blanks called. So if the column name has a space, we use double quotation for name them. Make sense, everyone? We'll use the double quotation to the store number. If I just leave out this double quotation, store and number will be considered as two separate things, right? So we don't want them. Can also use square brackets in SQL Server to denote quoted identifier. We can write square brackets as well. Like if the field name is basically multiple fields, we can just do that. Not equal to. So by default, we'll say employee location not equal to 4A17. You remember we just did that for equal to and not equal to 4A17. Let's do that. Let's copy this one and let's run this over here. Look at that. If I run this one, it will be all but 4A17 people. Is that making sense to everyone? This is for that particular one. Let's move forward. Greater than. So again, if number is greater than something, you just bring up these three columns for that one. You can just practice these all, they are there. And now here comes the compound expressions. We are not condition or condition and condition or. It's just like normal your and or logic, ending and oring that you use in your programming. You can use ending and oring just for that one. So if you look at that one, for example, where not code is equal to bus. So you have to select everything from school where code is not equal to bus. You have to bring everything but bus. You know what I mean? So it's not. In the same way, you have to combine multiple statements. ID should be greater than 10 and payment method ID is equal to 3. So if ID is greater than 10 and means, it typically means that both of the conditions should be true to produce the output. So it will just select student number, amount, and transaction date from payment when ID is greater than 10 and payment method ID is equal to 3. It won't select other than that. Make sense, everyone? So and oring is again any statement will be correct. It will just bring that one. First name is equal to John or first name is equal to John. Whatever, just bring all those names. So it will just bring up all those names. So or means if either side is positive, it will produce an output, positive output. Let's see that. Copy. And paste. Let's do that. You see that the first name is John, and these are only there is John basically. So it is just, bringing up, and we have this or. So we have to bring every record with whether it is John or not. Precedence refers to the order of evaluation, which should be evaluated first and which should be evaluated last. Not is the highest because it's unary. Unary means it does require only one operand. And takes precedence over OR by convention, and is executed first and then OR. Operator precedent computers like order of operations and arithmetic. Golden rule. When in doubt, use parenthesis. So whenever you are in doubt, use the parenthesis. Saving SQL code. So SQL code. So to save SQL code, we use file save.sql as from the SQL Server Menu Studio Express menu to redirect SQL output to a file. Select query results to file. And what it does is that it will just save that results over there. So if you look at that, run the file name rpt file ex0 file to match the SQL code in ex0 SQL, and result rpt is created in the results window will display the message. So results will be generated by that one. The generated results will be over there. Right. So this is basically before you submit the SQL or rpt file, before submitting output, make sure the quantity of result is reasonable. No SQL sprint exercise or assignment will return more than 200 rows. Most will return far less. The output of the assignment in this course will fit on between 1 and 5 printed pages. If your output larger than this, it is indicative an error to your interpretation of the question, or there is a logical error in SQL statement. So this will be basically there. Case sensitivity is determined at the server level when Microsoft SQL Server is installed. By default, it's case insensitive. It does not really care about, as I told you, case agnostic, and it does not care about that one. The installer can opt for case sensitive like C, C++, etc. Our installations is case insensitive, so there is case insensitive. Okay, so this is now they are talking about null and in. I'll just I'll just stop it over here, and I'll just start from there, from after case sensitivity null. I'm just stopping over here. So did you guys understand in general what we are doing with the databases? Databases will appear over here. You can see I have lots of databases over here, but do you guys understand that we will have how we will just interact with these databases? You guys understand that one? So this was our first session, and I'll stop here and I'll just give you some time to just practice all these one, and they have given some other practice questions as well on that week 1 folder. You can just find out over here this lab getting started. So you can just you can have this lab also running with this one. There are files being over there, and you can just create an SIS. You see that these are all the files, and open file this x0 there and result that one, and check the random. So I'll just give you some time to just do this lab as well, and as well as just practice everything that we have done. So this is all is over here. So select a statement is there, select SQL is there, rpt file is there. You will generate your own, and you will work with that one. So I'll just do that. What I'll do is I'll just start from this point onwards. Oh, sorry, not this one. I'll start from this point onward from the select, but for today, I'm just leaving that over here. So in this select, we will start next week. We will start from this point onward where we have just left, and we have left that at case sensitivity. I'll just start from the null. Any questions from anyone? If you don't have any question, you can write no question as well. No question is a right answer as well. Anyone having any questions? Okay, thank you. So I hope everyone has done installation. I hope you enjoyed today's session. So I'm stopping sharing, and I would like to meet all of you next week now. If you have any questions, you can always send me an email, or there is a team and you are connected with the team. We are connected on the team. If anyone is unable to join the team still, let me know. I need all of you to be on the teams before we move forward. Right. So thank you very much and enjoy your day. You can write a thanks message. That will be attendance for today, a thanks message or something, and you can just leave and you can just do the practice. Thank you very much, Yash and everyone. I'm stopping recording as well.